With Player Unknowns Battleground releasing on Xbox One in just under 2 weeks on December 12th, Brenden Greene, Player Unknown himself, actually talked about how the Xbox was synonymous with gaming and how there's a huge player base out there that like to play on consoles, and that's why they're bringing the game to the Xbox One system. But there's a particular part of this interview that a lot of people thought would never happen that he talked about, and we're going to talk about it right now. What up everybody, it's your boy Gaming Forte, back at another video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, it definitely helps out the channel a lot. And yeah, the thing that he actually talked about was the Xbox One X running at 60 frames per second and the base Xbox and the Xbox One S only running at 30 frames per second. Now, Microsoft didn't say this is something that could not happen. They did come out and say that it's all up to developers and how they actually want to have it play out in their games, but there is a huge difference between 30 frames and 60 frames per second. And the one part of this actual interview that has a lot of people basically just talking about it is this one quote right here from Brenden Greene, and this is what he had to say. Definitely on the Xbox One X 60 frames per second. On the Xbox One, we're not sure. We may have to limit it at 30 frames per second maybe, but the last time I saw it, it was running at about 30 to 40. We're still constantly improving it, so you know the aim is still to get it to 60. That's why we're doing game preview. I think the great thing about consoles is the lock hardware, so you can do really specific tweaks that tune it for those systems. I have great faith that we'll get there. The great thing about Battlegrounds is that it's not unlike the more high-paced shooters. Frame rate isn't that important. Yes, it's important, but it's not as important for us as it is for a Twitch shooter. So we're aiming for 60. Not sure if we'll get there, but that is our aim. So this is one thing that a lot of people, like I said earlier, didn't think was going to happen. And it's almost screaming to the point that a lot of people feel like if you bought an Xbox One X, you basically just bought an advantage in this game. And honestly, you may be correct about it. I'm not going to sit here and say that me being an Xbox One X owner, I feel bad for people that don't have an Xbox One X when it comes to this game, because PC has been doing this for a long time. There's people out there with huge budgets on their PCs that can run games at incredible frame rates that have massive advantages over everybody else. I do play games on PC and I do see those advantages from other people, and sometimes I have those advantages over them. But the thing about the PC brand is people expect that. People know if you spend more money, you're going to get better performance and you're expected to be better at certain things than other people in the game. That's why you have mouse and keyboard support combined with people that play with controllers. And that's something that a lot of people don't think you will ever see on console, because it is a inherent disadvantage if you're not playing with a mouse and keyboard versus a controller. But frame rate is something that you can definitely feel in a game. When I play certain games on PC that are 60 frames per second over there and 30 frames per second like Destiny, there is a huge difference. It's very hard to go back to a game that's playing 30 frames per second. Now, if you play 30 frames per second your whole life and really don't dabble into 60 frames per second, you really won't notice it that much, because certain games have really good ways of displaying the way that 30 frames feels in a game, like Halo does. Destiny actually does too. But once you get a chance to play in 60, man, it's kind of hard to go back. So the biggest thing is this going to be fair for everyone? Well, I don't know if they would put this in there, because the way Brenden Greene said it, he said it is important, but it's not for their game because of the type of game it is. He is absolutely right. This isn't a Twitch shooter. You aren't going to be like running around corners and getting into like 100 different gunfights. This game is going to be more paced out like a Battlefield style game. But the biggest thing for me is even Battlefield runs at 60 frames per second on every console. And I wonder what it would take to actually get the Xbox One and the Xbox One S to actually run at 60 frames per second on Player Unknowns Battleground. So I'm not going to be an apologist. I'm super happy that the Xbox One X is going to run at 60 frames per second. And I actually feel like we are getting a tangible benefit by buying this system. But is Microsoft going to use this as an actual marketing ploy to say, hey, buy an Xbox One X, you can play this game at 60 frames per second versus 30 frames per second? I actually think that's actually pretty ingenious. And I think anybody that still wants to play the game, yeah, definitely play it at 30 frames per second. You never know. They might have two different lobbies. They might have a lobby for 60 frames per second. They might have a lobby for 30 frames per second, or you can mingle in between the two different settings to, you know, have a bigger player base to play with, and leave it up to you. We really don't know. We'll find that out over the next couple of weeks when Player Unknown Battlegrounds drops. But I ultimately think that this is something that's really good, because it's starting to show that consoles and PC are coming together. I know a lot of people aren't going to really like this idea, but you have to change with the times. Sooner or later, consoles and PCs are going to become one and the same, and Xbox One X is the closest thing we have to a PC right now, and I really hope that developers take advantage of the power that that system has, so we can see even bigger differences between games on both platforms. Not saying that you still can't play those games, but I want to see a tangible difference in a game that I buy on my Xbox One X that still plays on a regular Xbox. Like 60 frames per second is a good start, but what's going to happen if this becomes super successful with Player Unknowns Battleground and people play it in the millions? And are we going to see this happen with more games going forward? So what do you guys think? Are you picking up Player Unknowns Battleground on December 12th when it releases? Do you have an Xbox One X? Do you feel like playing at 60 frames per second over 30 frames per second is actually cheating, or do you think it's unfair? Or do you just feel like if you pay for the hardware, you should be able to reap the rewards of actually getting the benefits of better performance of the system? Let's talk about that in the comment section. And in closing, I wanted to say thanks to everybody. We just hit 700 subscribers. That is something awesome. 300 away from 1,000. I got something really cool that I'm gonna do when we hit 1,000 subs. So make sure you guys like and share this video on your social media accounts so other people can see it. And definitely, I really appreciate all of the support you guys have given me over the last 6 months. You guys have been awesome, and it's definitely a credit to you guys because you helped me make these videos, and it's just super fun doing them for you guys. So like I said, thanks for watching the video. Sub to the channel if you haven't. Like this video if you like the content. It definitely helps out the channel a lot. Turn on those notifications. Gonna let you know the next time my videos go live. It's your boy Gaming Forte. You guys have a great week, and I'm gonna talk to you in the next video. Peace.